What is going on? Charles Botensten. We are actually live on time. First time that we're doing that in a while. Whereas actually 3, 2, 1, go live. So it's the first time. Happy Tuesday. And happy is an emotion. So that's a good transition into what we're going to be talking about today. I'll turn down the music over here. So what are we going to be talking about? First of all, emotions are not really talked about, especially if you're a man or masculinity or something like that. You either hide the emotions, you don't talk about it, yet we still have it because we're humans. So this was an interesting topic that I've actually started to explore the last 6 to 7 months based on the fact that I started thinking, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel motivated? Why do I not feel motivated? And in the case for myself is that if I don't feel motivated, I say, okay, why don't I feel motivated? If I say, okay, why don't I feel motivated? It could be because I'm hungover or because of like things that happened to me. In other words, I, ate like shit, or, my brain's a little foggy because I had some sugar, or I had someone sleep over. So essentially that, I don't actually have the amount of drive or motivation that I need. And this is the biggest thing is, I can tell you right now, if there is one thing to tackle besides health, because this is kind of a subset of health, is your emotions. And it's not like, how do I feel? It's, why do I feel this way, okay? And I can tell you right now, if you could start reverse engineering why you feel a certain way, I'll give you an example. At 2 p.m., I usually go out. Back in the day, probably last year, I'd go out and I would get something because I was hungry. So I'd have my oatmeal at probably 8, I'm looking at the time right now, 8:20. Then I would have a salad at around 11. And then by 2, I was hungry. And, I justified it because I said my brain needs it. It needs that because I'm using it a lot and I just need it. And I would go out and I would get some kind of sugar rush. And then, what's funny is that as I started actually eating healthier, I started getting a headache. The more sugar that I had, I started getting a headache. And I was like, that's weird. I'm like, why am I getting a headache? It's not because I'm dehydrated, because I'm drinking a fuck ton of this. It's because it's the sugar. So then I started cutting it out. And then this is even crazier, is that as I started cutting out the sugar, I started getting a little bit happier. I started becoming a little bit more enthusiastic. I started to be a little bit more confident in front of clients and saying, why don't you work with us? I started being a little bit more bold. And what I noticed is that if I started to reverse engineer the way that I felt, not how do I feel? A lot of people say, okay, how do I feel? Well, this morning, I didn't want to go to the gym. I actually slept beyond my alarm. If you look at my Instagram story, I woke up at 5:11. That's, 16, 20 minutes after usually I wake up, okay? I didn't want to get out of bed. I was exhausted. And then when I got out of bed, and I'll talk about that in a second because it was interesting when and this is literally reverse, you'll never feel like it. Yeah, not only will you never feel like it, but it's actually hacking beyond that. Hacking beyond the fact that you're never gonna feel like it. However, you'll get to a point, and I'll talk about it in a second. Let me just get back to the emotions. So I journal, and a lot of people like Grant Cardone, he has a journal where he talks about, here are my goals, this is what I'm gonna do today, and da-da-da, okay? What I do is, my sister's here, what I do is I actually come in and I do what I need to do to make sure that I optimize my life, optimize my health, optimize my energy. And I say, okay, why do I feel groggy? I didn't sleep that good last night. So then I said, okay, why don't I sleep good last night? I went to bed good, but then I was on my phone, okay? So then you literally start reverse engineering, and then it literally comes back to 2 things. Did I do enough that day? In other words, did I go to the gym and really work my body enough that I felt exhausted and I went to sleep? Number 1. Number 2, what's up, Erwin? Number 2 is, what time did I go to bed? And when I went to bed, was I watching TV? Was I on my computer? Was I on my cell phone? Because when you look at something, what's up, Chris? When you're looking at a screen like this, you're getting all this blue light. Your body thinks it's still light out. Okay, this is it. The Earth, there's circadian rhythms every 24 hours. Okay, the Earth is blue in the morning, even though yes, it's orange and everything else. It's blue and then it gets to orange. Over millions and millions of years, our body has gotten used to saying, oh, okay, it's orange out. Or there's fire, that means it's at night. And then your body actually has little receptacles on its skin and it feels, oh, okay, it's body time, it's time to go to sleep. And then you say, okay, let's go to sleep. But your body feels it, okay? If you don't feel like going to sleep, you're not gonna go to sleep, okay? That's simple as that. Going to this morning, I didn't feel like going to the gym. As I was leaving, this is really funny. I blacked out literally, not like literally blacked out, but I blacked out from when I put on my sneakers to when I was outside. It was 32 degrees when I was going to the gym, and I biked to the gym. It's a little chilly. It was actually cold. Not cold. It was chilly. All right? And I'm outside, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm outside. I don't remember putting on my sneakers going all the way there to the outside. That's a habit. You want to get to that point where you hit all this bullshit in the beginning. And as I was doing my affirmations, I was thinking, okay, what's his name says? See you at the pool. See you at the pool. I'll see you at the pool. You know, and that was literally going through my mind. And I was actually, Chris, I think you came into my mind, ironically enough, is that it was like, see you at the gym. See you at the gym. Just go to the gym, okay? And I need to go to the gym because then I need to do this. Because then I need to do calls, okay? That's the accountability. But the blackout means that I actually had a habit in place. I had a habit in place where I went all the way outside, don't remember it, and just started walking in the gym. And I was like, holy shit, I actually now have a habit. I think that's the definition of a habit. When you just don't remember it. I don't remember driving for the last 2 hours. I don't remember, walking to get a coffee at Starbucks at 2 p.m. I don't remember it. That's a habit. That's a bad habit. But then you reverse engineer it. Emotions, there's 2 books out there. One of them, very thick, and it's incredible. Michael Phelps, honestly, that thing is just ingrained in my head. How Emotions Are Made. It's a very deep book, very scientific, but it's nuts. It literally, it will put you in a different state. I can tell you that. It will put you in a different state because you'll start to say, okay, I am not my emotions. They're there in my body. It's a reaction to the outside. It's a reaction to my tiredness. It's my reaction to maybe not even want to do it. So then I make up excuses. I'm tired. I'm lazy. She's drunk. I'm drunk. I can do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. It's like we come up with the excuses because we go into our body and we say, how do I feel? Instead of saying, this is what I need to do. Okay, some people who are fucking asinine will say, so Charles, you're saying even when I'm sick, even when I'm hurt, I just go forward? Listen, I don't know what your caliber of pain is. I have no idea. I would keep on going. That's up to you, okay? That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, ego. If you want to talk about the ego, read Eckhart Tolle's newest book, A Beautiful New World, okay? And he dives into the ego. It is crazy what we do to protect our ego. We will go into bankruptcy. We will go into debt to protect our ego. And really, our ego is how we feel about something that we do or do not want to do, which is make sales calls, okay? Maybe go to the gym. Doesn't matter. But we have an ego behind everything. And then before we even hit the ego, the emotion is there. The emotion could be, the emotion is hatred or jealousy or angry. And I can tell you, this is the last thing I'll leave you on, is there was a doorman on the Upper East Side that, and actually the Upper West Side, it was back to back. And at least an hour, a half an hour. I go an hour. This is what I say is I breathe in and then breathe out. If something's happening, so I'll tell you the situation. I was on the Upper East Side. This doorman was being really snipey. He was really being arrogant. And I was with my videographer, Jojo, and Jojo replied in such a way that it escalated the situation. So the doorman was saying, there's no open houses, you're not allowed open houses. So I'm sitting there, and I can tell you right now, if I didn't meditate, if I was not into self-development, I would have been fucked in this situation. I would have went off the rails. If this was when I was 22 and I had anger issues and everything else, I would have went crazy. So he was telling me, there's no door, and he's being vicious in front of me. And Jojo's right next to me, and Jojo goes, what are you talking about? We registered. And I'm like, Jojo, stop. And then you literally go inside, and it's funny, you see the situation totally, you don't see yourself getting attacked. You see yourself as, what's the solution here, okay? He could have a bad day, he could be going through a divorce, maybe he just heard some bad news, I have no idea, something happened. But one thing that I now affirm every single morning is, and literally this is funny, so as he's berating me, I say, okay, great. And literally in this tone, okay, great, yeah, we'll do it, which actually calmed him down. So this is funny. So he walks away, and we do the open house, or not do the open house, we continue the open house, and there was people that were sitting on the couch, and the agent and their clients walk up to me, and the agent goes, what the hell did you just do? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't understand. the clients walk up, they're like, how did you dissolve that he was just not being right? He just wasn't. That's the thing, is emotions can take over your life, or you can control them. You can't really control them. You just have to understand them and ask them why. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel tired? Why do I feel lazy? Why do I feel unmotivated? Yesterday, I was not having a good day. If you want to look at my, if you want to look at my live stream yesterday, making sales calls, that's when Charles is not in a good day. All right. So have an awesome day. I'm going to hop over to Facebook. Thank you guys for watching. And obviously, accountability. That's it. Accountability equals consistency, which equals the effort, which equals the outcome that you want. Breaking it all down. Just ask why. All right. Awesome. Chris, exactly. Yes, that's what triggered it, actually. No pun intended on the triggering. So I'm going to hop over to Facebook Live, make my sales calls. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably more about emotions because it's extremely important. I'll tell you that much. Talk to you guys soon.